Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku Puzzle. It's Monday, the 27th of November, 2023. Are you ready for the week? Are you ready to face the week? Hardened, refreshed after a good weekend, ready to face this week of work or retirement activities or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, school possibly. I'm not sure we have many young people with us. But whatever you're going to do, good luck with it. Here in Thailand, today is Loy Krathong Day, but we don't say Happy Loy Krathong. It's not something that we say. Do you know what Loy Krathong is? Probably not if you've not lived here. But it's a day of the year where we celebrate the water gods or whatever, and put a krathong. A krathong is like a floating, used to be originally banana leaf with various items on it, then turned into styrene foam over the years. Nowadays we've gone kind of full circle and back to kind of more natural products, because the styrene foam floats, the krathongs, were blocking up the drains and polluting the rivers and canals. So hopefully nobody will be using those anymore. We've gone back to more traditional kind of things. Bread is a good material to use. You can, in the supermarkets, in the bakeries of the supermarkets, they make krathongs from, basically, it's kind of flour. It's just like a hard bread that will float, and you can put your candles on, etc., etc. That happens in the evening. It's still only 8 a.m. here, so that's a long way to go yet. But that's happening later this evening. I'm not a fan of prizes in general. Prizes for artistic work like music and stuff like that, except in the sense that it does often promote people's work, and I think that's a good idea. Sometimes when you hear the name of something winning a prize, especially if it's something unusual, you might want to investigate it. So this morning I saw that the Booker Prize has been won by, I think his name is Paul Lynch. According to The Guardian, the book is rather claustrophobic, and that's because it's written in the present tense and without paragraphs. And I thought, will that even be readable? And nowadays on the internet, you can search for a book, you can get to read the preview of it, the first 10 or so pages. Actually, I think you can read the first 40 pages. Well, I got up to page 3 and I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope I haven't turned into a reactionary. I'd hate to be a reactionary, but I think paragraphs are useful. Please bring back the paragraph. Don't kill. We've lost so much in terms of things like, appalling spelling. Apparently, there are also no quotation marks in it as well when characters are speaking. I'm not going to be buying that. I'm afraid it was too exhausting. But I hope I haven't become a reactionary. Right, let's get on with the game of Sudoku. Now, it's a Monday, which means it's a very easy level game, so I'll explain the rules of Sudoku, but quite briefly, because I don't think they're too difficult. Now, there are 9 squares in this row across. Indeed, every row across it, you can see it's a square. So there are 9 squares in the huge grid square. Now, what we do, you can see there are some numbers here, 9, 8, and 1. There are 9 squares. You might be ahead and have guessed already, because I think it's a game you can actually guess the rules. We have to put the numbers 1 to 9 in each of these squares. Now, since there are only 9 squares across, it means each number can go only one time. We do exactly the same thing for all of these columns. We have a 2 and a 1 in this column already. The other 7 digits are to be found. And then we have these smaller 3x3 sections here. Look, this one has a 9, so numbers 1 to 8 have to be found and fitted in here. Whereas this small block already has 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 in it, so we're only looking for 4 digits to complete the series of 1 to 9. So how do we go about doing that? We use logic. This is a game of logic. It's not a game of guessing or using intuition or anything like that. No, it has to be logic. That's the whole fun of the game. We use this idea of a number being able to appear only once to give us the answer to things. Now I've got something, but I'll show. Oh, there's something easier. Right, I don't want to show you anything difficult since it's a beginner's level game. Now we've got 7 in this column already. 7, 5, 9, 8, and 2. Right. So we can't have any more of these digits here. We're only looking for the numbers we don't have. So we know that down here, this square here, this one, cannot be 7 because we already have 7 in this column. Now we've got 7 in this column. And the same thing applies. We can't have 7 anywhere else in this column, right? And we've got 7 in this row, so we can't have 7 anywhere else in this row. So when we look at this block down here, this block of 9 squares, we can see that 7 can't be in any of the blue squares because it's blocked. The 7 is blocked by other 7 surrounding it. There's only one empty square, and we know that the 7 must go in there. Got it? Let's do the same thing in this block up here. We're going to look again for the 7s, right? So if I look at this 7 down here and say 7 can't reappear in this column, and 7 can't reappear in this row, again we're left with just one empty square, and we know that the 7 goes there. Got the idea? Good. And that's all we have to do now is just go ahead and look around the grid for similar kinds of things. Now we have a 1 blocking up here and a 1 blocking up here and a 1 blocking across here. So obviously when I say blocking, I mean forbidding from reappearing, and we're left with just a single square there where the 1 can go. I don't want to tell you that anything too difficult. I can see the next move is pretty... here we go. This is better. 3 up here, 3 blocking up here. That's going to put 3 into that square. And then 3, you see we're using the digits that we've just placed. 3 across here, 3 across there. And that will give us the 3 in this location here. So we're using the numbers that we just put in. Here we are. There's 2 blocking across here and 2 across here. That will give us 2 in that square. And then we have 2 blocking up here and 2 across here and across here. So again, just 1 square left. We have to eliminate all other possibilities, and when we're left with only 1 possible place where the digit can go, that's where it goes. Now, we don't have 7 in this column yet. We've got 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4. We've got 5. And we don't have 6. We've got... we don't have 6 or 7. We've got 8 and 9. So we're looking for 4, 6, and 7 in these empty squares down here. Now, if we look at the 7s, we can see 7 blocks this square and 7 blocks this square. So in this column, there's only 1 possible place where the 7 can go. We know the 7 goes there. And now we know that these 2 squares can only contain 4 and 6. But at the moment, we don't know which is which. So we've got to come back to that later. So sometimes we look and we don't exactly find things, but we find things that we'll be able to use later, hopefully. We have 1 blocking across here and 1 blocking across here, so that's going to give us 1 in that square. I'm trying to find the easiest things for you because I don't want to burden people with anything too complicated on your first ever game of Sudoku. Second game, okay, go for it. But first game, you really got to understand the rules first of all, I think. I'm looking, but I'm not finding. Oh, there we are. 7 blocks across here, 7 blocks across there. That's going to be a 7. 7 down here, 7 up there, and 7 across there will give us 7 in this square. And now there's only one more to get. What do I mean? Well, we have 9 of each digit in this grid. So once we've got 8 of them, we just can look for our 9th, and we're always going to be able to get it because of the surrounding digits. So we've got 7s surrounding there. That's going to be the final digit 7. There are no more digit 7s to look for. Okay. Now this is more interesting. Right, now this is good. Now we've got 3 empty squares, and if you look, you'll find what we are missing is 4, 6, and 9. We've got everything else. 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4. 5, yes. No 6. 7, 8. No 9. So 4, 6, and 9 in those 3 squares. And we look at this square and we ask ourselves, can it be 4? And when we look around, we say, well, no, it can't be 4 because of that. And then we say, can it be 6? And we say, no reason why not. And then we say, can it be 9? And we say, definitely not. So we know it's not 4 or 9. We know that it has to be 6 because that's all that's left. Let's do another thing now. So we've got 6 blocking up here, right? And that means 6 must appear either in this square or this square. Which one? You haven't got an answer? That's okay. Neither have I, but that's not what I want you to worry about at the moment. We do understand that it's either here or here. Now, if 6 appears in this square, it's going to block down there. And if 6 appears in this square, it's still going to block all the way down here. So this square here cannot be 6 because 6 must appear in one of these 2 squares up here. Now, when we consider this 6 blocking down here, down at the bottom here, we know that 6 must be in this square here. That's one way of finding the answer. Now, what you could also do is say which numbers are missing in this column. We don't yet have 4 or 6, and 6 blocks this square here, so that must be 6. So you'll see 2 ways to find exactly the same piece of information. Now, there's only 1 digit left here, and as I said, that's a 4. And we know that this is going to be a 9 to make up the whole series here. Our 9 blocks down here and 9 blocks across there, which will give us 9 in that square. Then the 9 blocks across and across here, which gives us the 9 here. Now, if you're worried that this is going a bit too quick, just go back, rewind it, watch it again. You do me a favor when you do that as well. You get me a bit more views on YouTube. Now we have 9s surrounding like this. This is the final digit 9, so there are no more 9s on the board. No more 7s, no more 9s. Now the missing numbers in this, if we only see 2 numbers missing, it's good to search and see what's missing. Now here we don't have 5 and 4. We're looking for 4 and 5 to fit into these 2 squares. So if we look up here, any clues? No. We look across here, yes, we've got 5 blocking that square. So we know that's the 5, and of course that has to be 4 because that's all that's left. So again, we'll look and see what's across here. We're missing 3 and 6. Now, can we look up here and find the answer? There's no 3s or 6 up there, but what we can see is that the 6 blocks across here like this. So there is only one possible place for the 6. So we know that the 6 goes there. And we know that the 3 must be in that square. And we'll take that 3 and say 3 up here, 3 down here. That will give us 3 there. Then 3 across here, and down there means that that's the 3. And then 3 down here and 3 down here means that that's going to be a 3 there. Four blocks this square. We need a 4 in this block and in this row. Same information will give you, rather you can look in either way and you'll find the same kind of thing. And the missing digit here is 6. Okay, coming on quite well now. There's 1 empty square for this column. That's where we go next. Whenever you see 1 empty square, obviously that's the next place to look, because there's I can get it for sure. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. That's got to be an 8. Now our 8 blocks across here and 8 blocks up here like this, so that'll give us an 8. And now there's only 1 more digit for this column. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have a 5. That must be a 5 then. That 5 blocks across here and 5 blocks up here. That will give me a 5 in that square there. Right, we've got 2 missing numbers here. What are they? They are 4 and 6. Any help on 4 or 6? We have to look across here. Answer, no, not at the moment. Okay. So let's look somewhere else, shall we? What's in these 3 squares? Well, we've got 1, 4 and 6. So the only thing we could say is the 1 doesn't allow that there, so we know 1 is in one of those 2 squares. But it's not good enough to help us just yet. So we need to look elsewhere. Here are 2 empty squares. What's missing from here? We don't yet have 2 and we don't yet have 5. Well, we've got 2 blocking that square there, so we know that that must be our 2, and then we'll finish here with a 5. Finish this row with a 5. Now 5 blocks up here and 5 blocks up here, so that will give us 5 in that square, and that's the last digit 5. Now we've done 3, 5, 7, 9. Those are all finished. The missing numbers here again are 4 and 6, but we can't do anything about that just yet. Well, I could, but I don't want to confuse the issue, so let's do this instead. We've got 2 blocking up here and 2 blocking down there, and that will give me a 2 in that square. That's the final digit 2. Now our 8 blocks all the way down here, that gives us an 8 here, and this digit here is a 4. That's going to be tremendously useful to us because the 4 blocks up here, and that gives us 4 in that square. And we know this is going to be 6 because that's the last number, and we're looking for a 6 as the last number over here as well. And our 6 blocks across here, so that's our 6, and this is our 4. Like I said, it's going to be useful. 4 blocks up here, there's our 4, and the last number there is a 1. Like I say, if this is too quick, no problem, just go back, check it out again. 1 blocks all the way down here, that gives me a 1 there. 1 blocks across here and 1 down there means that's our 1. We only have 3 more numbers to get. We're just looking for 4, we're looking for 6, and we're looking for 8. Everything else is done. Now there's only 1 empty square here. I can see 4 and I can see 8, so I know this is going to be a 6 without having to work through all of the numbers there. 6 blocks across here, that's going to be a 6. Now we're only looking for 4 and 8. We've got a 4 here, so this is going to be 8. 8 blocks across here, there's our 8 and a 4. We'll finish today's easy game, beginner level game in the Guardian every Monday. Check back on the other Mondays if you want to practice easy level games. That's it. I'll be around later today, hopefully. Bye bye.